Okay, look, you're here because you want to know which mic arm is going to be right for your equipment. So I am going to go through two solid choices in this video and compare them so you know which one is going to be right for your setup. Firstly, the RODE PSA1 Plus, a solid mic arm, and then we've got the Tonor T30. So which of these is going to be right for you? My name's Tom and I help people get set up with content creation. So if you're new here, consider subscribing to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of my upcoming content. Also, to keep things fair, I'm judging these both using RODE pod mics. Now granted, this is the pod mic USB that I've got on the RODE arm and the standard pod mic, but the weight is the same. If you want to use this for pod mics or Shure SM7Bs or any other kind of microphone, these mic arms should literally hold up. Right, let's get straight into it. Firstly, the PSA1 Plus. Now, this mic arm is fantastic. It's made by RODE, so it's made pretty much exactly for the pod mic models. It holds them perfectly and it articulates incredibly well. It's got these little clips on top, making cable management incredibly easy. It extends out quite a far way, and actually if you extend it fully, you can turn it up a little bit and have it more as a kind of low profile mic arm. Overall, it is a pretty solid choice for a mic arm. Additionally, the security with your microphone is solid. It's got this additional kind of ring on it, so you can tighten that down to make sure that your mic is tight on there and it's not going to go anywhere, it's not going to fall off. In terms of actually clamping it onto the desk, it's got that C clamp on it with a solid round base which is going to firmly hold this microphone to your desk, and on the underside has got rubber on it so it's not going to risk damaging your desk. Now, some of the downsides of this microphone arm are that firstly, it's way more expensive. I found this mic arm online for about 100 to 110 pounds. And then there are a couple of things that do bother me about the RODE PSA1. Firstly is the build quality of the actual tightening handle for the clamp. It feels a little low quality. Mine has started to bend and one of the little rubber ends on it has completely come off. So in terms of build quality, the whole thing is solid, but just that little bit leaves something to be desired. Additionally, probably the biggest gripe I actually have with this microphone arm is the fact that it doesn't have a headphone holder on the underneath. This can be quite frustrating when you're making videos, or in particular when you're hosting podcasts. The PSA1 Plus, for all of the great features that it has, massively lacks this one key feature. Now let's take a look at the Tonor T30. While the articulation may not be as good as the PSA1 Plus, the Tonor T30 still does a really good of holding up the RODE pod mic and articulating it around. Additionally, the build quality is solid, with the entire arm being made out of steel. It can be a bit stiffer and at times a bit noisier than the PSA1 Plus, but it does have solid springs that are holding it together. And I suppose one additional advantage is that you can actually adjust the position of the pins that hold the springs. So if you need a little more or a bit less tension, you do have the option to customize it. In addition, benefits of this mic arm are the price. It comes in at between 30 to 40 pounds in the UK. You could potentially purchase 3 of the Tonor T30 mic arms for the same price of a PSA1 Plus. So if you're looking to just get your studio up and running, you've got a massive advantage with the Tonor. Probably one of the best things about this mic arm is that it does have a headphone holder under the base. The base itself is solid. It's in this kind of pentagon shape, and then extending out from that desk clamp component is an area to place your headphones. And I actually like this so much that I have got the base of my T20 mic arm permanently attached to my desk purely as a headphone holder because I can't do it with the PSA1 Plus. And when it comes to looking at the downsides for the Tonor model, there are a few things to consider. Firstly, although this arm is capable of holding a RODE pod mic and similar microphones on it, I have noticed a tendency for it to dip slightly under the weight, especially if you have it extended out far. Now, Tonor does actually state that they can hold up to something like 2 kilograms with one of these mic arms. So the fact that it starts to dip with a microphone that weighs less than a kilo is a slight concern, but the workaround that I've tended to find with this is to just tighten up the hinge units a little bit, and that seems to sort it. And unlike the PSA1 Plus, it doesn't have that same rubber protection when clamping it onto the desk. You've just got the pure metal going in, so there is a slight risk of damaging your desk if you tighten it too much. And then finally, with the T30, it doesn't have quite as good cable management as the PSA1 Plus does. It does have a few grooves where you're able to tuck the cable in, and it does come with some Velcro strips so that you can tie the cables to the arm, but it's not as solid as the dedicated slots on the PSA1 Plus. So all in, which of these mic arms is going to be best for you, your setup, and your content creation? If you want the absolute best piece of equipment that you can get for a microphone like the PodMic or the Shure SM7B, if you have no limit to your budget and you want to get the most amount of features for a mic arm, then the PSA1 Plus is probably the way to go. It's incredibly smooth, it articulates really well, and it has great cable management for these microphones and your cables. And if they could honestly just extend that clamp out a little bit so that it could hold a pair of headphones, I would say it's the best mic arm on the market. However, if you want a piece of equipment that does the job and helps you just get your setup ready to go and has the best value for money, then the Tonor T30 mic arm is the way to go. If you asked me what my personal recommendation would be, it would be the Tonor. It just saves you so much money, offers almost all the same functionality, and has that bonus of having the headphone stand underneath it. When it comes to content creation, you can't pay to win. Buying the most expensive equipment isn't going to make your content any better. So really, you should just invest in what's going to work and offer you what you need. And I'm hoping that this helps at least one person find the right kit for their setup. If you're keen to learn more about content creation, then consider subscribing to the channel or check out some of my other review videos that I've done, especially with this microphone right here. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.